If you're going to buy a used graphics card off eBay and they mention it was used for mining, should you buy it or stay away? This is a question that Paul's Hardware and some other tech tubers have answered before, and Paul did a pretty good job, and I'll add just a little bit more than he shared in his video, as well as recap everything, but you're certainly welcome to go watch his videos. He does good work. There are three things that will shorten the life or kill your GPU. The first is the voltage that goes through the core. You can think of voltage as the rate of erosion of electrons eating away at the circuits inside. You have heat, which will shorten the life of the cooling fans, not so much the components inside. And lastly, you have the number of times a card has been heated up and cooled down. You can't really see it too much on most cards, but you can see it on this one because it only has half the memory slots soldered on. But there are these tiny little silver dots, which are a ball grid array. Basically, these are all the solder joints for attaching a stick of memory onto the GPU. As the graphics card heats up and cools down a bunch of times, these solder joints between the GPU and the PCB and the memory in the PCB, those joints will physically crack, wear out, and disconnect. And that's why baking your oven in a GPU is supposed to help revive it. If that GPU was used for gaming and went through a lot of hot and cold from starting and stopping gaming sessions, then a lot of those joints will have worn out, and in theory, by melting those joints and getting them to rebond, will revive the card. But with mining, generally you set it to hot, and it mines 24/7, and it stays one temperature. So that is one thing you basically do not have to worry about from a used mining card. Now how about the other two? Some cryptocurrency algorithms, such as Ethereum and Monero, do reward you if you undervolt the voltage on your card. I'm mining Monero on a few RX Vega rigs, and the stock voltage for RX Vega is 1.2 volts. I have my cards set to 1.0 volts. So that right there is a pretty nice reduction in voltage wear on the GPU. Now, one other thing to consider is because it's running 24/7, the rate of erosion per hour isn't as bad, but it's a lot more hours, so there is that to consider. So because the voltage has been decreased, the card should theoretically live longer in that regard. However, I have not been paid for air conditioning. Not that I'm not paying the electric bill, I am. But what I mean is I have not used any air conditioning, I've just been blowing air through the room. As a result, the air has gotten over 100 degrees, which means the fans on my video cards have been working harder than normal, and also 24/7. So, if you're planning on water cooling by throwing a water block on a used mining GPU, then you should have no problem, because the fans, which would have more wear on these video cards, that's of no concern to you, because you're pulling those right off and putting a water block in its place. So basically, in summary, the only thing you have to watch out for if you're going the custom water cooling route is just what voltage was used on the card, which you can generally figure out by messaging the seller, and he'll be happy to tell you if he knows what he's doing. And if you're not going to custom water cool, then you just have to basically see how long it was mining for. If it was 6 months or less, then chances are your card will probably be okay. If it was a year or more, then those fans are on their last legs, and you'll want to see if that card has a warranty where you can RMA it and get it replaced in the next year in case the fans die. So now that you understand a little bit about the history of mining with graphics cards and ASICs and advanced hardware like that, and you understand what mining actually does to shorten the life of a GPU, that should cover most everything that gamers need to understand about mining and graphics cards and what the two have in common. So, if you found this video super useful, make sure to give this video a like. If you want to check out some videos about gaming, check them out over here. If you're more interested in mining and how that's more than just making money, then check out these videos over here. As always, I'll see you in the next video, whichever genre of video you happen to be a fan of.